अस्सलाम वालेकुम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बिश शरह सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वाhlul उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बी ज़िदनी इल्मा. I'm here with another paper of A levels, that is AS level Computer Science, paper 1 Theory Fundamentals. The paper is of May June 2021 and it's 961812. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 30 minutes. You have to answer on the question paper. No additional material is needed, and you have to answer all the questions. Use a black or dark blue pen. You have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the given boxes. Write your answer to each question in the space provided. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. You may use an AJ pencil for any diagrams, graphs, or rough working. Calculators must not be used in the paper. The total marks for this paper is 75, and the number of marks for each question or part question are given in the brackets. You are not supposed to use the brand names for in your answer, as no mark will be awarded for using the brand names. Question number 1. Raj owns houses. Raj owns houses that other people rent from him. He has a database that stores details about the people who rent houses and the houses they rent. The database House Rentals has the following structure. Here we can see that there are three tables: customer, house, and rental, and their associated fields or attributes are mentioned, and the underlined values are indicating that it's the primary key. Part A. Give the definition of the following database terms using an example from the database House Rentals for each definition. The first term is field, and it's a column or an attribute in a table. For example, customer ID in the table customer, or you can say first name in the table customer, or last name in the table customer, date of birth, or email in the table customer. Similarly, you can see that we have another table by the name house. So another child can mention any field or any attribute from the house table, and that will be considered as a correct answer as an example. Same is applicable for the table rental. You can choose any field from the table rental, and again your answer will be considered as correct. Entity. What is an entity? Anything that data can be stored about. For example, here we are storing the data about customers, or we are storing the data about houses. So in this case, a child can write a house or a customer, and that will be considered as a valid answer. The third term is foreign key, and the definition of foreign key is a field in one table that is linked to a primary key in another table. For example, as you can see, customer ID or house ID as is present in, like you can see here, customer ID is the primary key in your customer table, and it is the foreign key in your rental table. Similarly, if you see, the house ID is the primary key in house table, and it is the foreign key in your rental table. So a child can write any of this answer, and it will be considered as a correct answer for the example of a foreign key. So that is what you can see: customer ID or house ID in the table rental. Now, next one is tick one box to identify whether the database house rentals is in 3NF or not in 3NF. So here we can see it's in 3NF because of the reason justification is mentioned here. All fields in tables are dependent fully on the primary key, and no other fields, for example, all fields in customer table are fully dependent on the customer ID. So that will give you 2 out of 2 for your answer. Now, question number 1, C part. Example data from the table rental are given, and you can see this is your example data. Complete the following DDL, data definition language statement, to define the table rental. Now, it's basically create, and there were few blanks. There were 2 blanks: create table rental, rental ID integer not null, comma, customer ID integer not null, comma, house ID, and then again it was a blank. So here we can see it's basically house ID is containing the data that is a variable value. You can see for yourself it's 15B, 5L, then another one is 3F, another one is 12AB, another one is 37. So it's containing a variable length field, and that is why varchar is the best choice as a data, as the data type, and it's 5 characters as I mentioned here. Monthly cost is real, not null. As you can see, it's containing the decimal part, that's why it's going to be real. And next one is my deposit paid boolean, not null, means that it should be filled, it cannot be left blank. And the last one is your final blank, and it should be the primary key. And it is the rental ID that is the primary key, and then we finish. And in this manner, you can score 4 out of 4 if you've written each value properly in your answer. Write a DML or data manipulation language script to return the first name and last name of all customers who have not paid their deposit. Now here we can see what do we require. First thing is we need to return or display the first name and last name of the customers. And which customers who have not paid their deposit. It means that we have to consult the deposit paid field. And for that, select first name, comma last name from customer, comma rental. Actually, we have to extract the data from two tables. That's why we have mentioned the two of them by putting a comma in between, where the where clause, where deposit paid equals to no. And you can see for yourself that the deposit paid field is containing a yes or a no. So we have to write the SQL command for that. We have to write the SQL script for that, where deposit paid equals to no. And we are connecting the two tables. And which are these two tables? We're connecting the rental and the customer table, and they're connected by the primary key in customer table with the foreign key in the rental table. So that is why, and the important clause that is connecting the two tables is shown here with an and rental dot customer ID equals to customer dot customer ID. So in this manner, you will be able to score 4 out of 4. That was question number 1, and now move on to question number 2. Aisha manages a team of software developers. Explain the reasons why it is important that Aisha acts ethically in relation to her team members. Now, this is a question of 2 marks, and you can answer any of the two bullet points to score 2 out of 2. To make sure that the team members feel valued, to get the best work out of the team, to enable them to work well together, to enable them to create the best product for the client. So this is like ethical handling of our team members is here, and you can mention any of the 2 points to score 2 out of 2 here. Part B. The team are developing a computer game where the user plays a board game such as chess against the computer. Describe how the computer would use AI to play the board game. It's a 3 mark question. So it's an artificial intelligence, the chapter that you have studied. The rules or past moves or decision-making algorithms of the game will be stored. The AI program is trained by playing many times. AI will look ahead at positive possible moves, and it will analyze the pattern of past choices, and then it will choose the move most likely to be successful. Computer could learn how to improve, or it's going to learn from the previous mistakes by storing the positive or the negative results of choices and changing its future choices so that it is now going to play a little better. In this manner, a student, if he has written any of the 3 valid points, he will be able to score 3 out of 3. Now, question number 2C part. The final game will be released under a license. Tick one or more boxes in each row to identify the licenses. Each statement describes. So here we can see there are 4 statements mentioned, and there are 4 situations, or you can say the types of licenses. It's free for software foundation, open source initiative, shareware, or commercial software. The first one, the user can edit the source code. So now what is the answer for this one? The users can edit the source code, free software foundation. open source initiative, shareware, or commercial software. So you know very well that source code editing is allowed in your free software foundation as well as your open source initiative. It's not allowed in shareware, or it's not allowed definitely in commercial software. Number second statement, the user must always pay before being able to use the software. They have to pay. So it is the commercial software. The user can redistribute the software. Redistribution of software is applicable in free software initiative. It's applicable in open source as well as in shareware. So these are the right answers as is what it was mentioned, one or more boxes. The user always gets a trial period. So a trial period is a shareware. So in this manner, we are able to score 4 out of 4 by mentioning each value property, by indicating by indicating the right answer with a tick. Now, this is my question number 3. A logic expression is given. S equals to A and B and C, or B XOR C. Draw the logic circuit for the given expression. So I have to draw the logic circuit, and let's start from here, A and B and C. So let's start that we are drawing a line from A and B, and this will be A and B. This is A and B, and we are connecting it with another AND gate that will be connected to C, and this is my first bracket. As you can see, A and B and C. Fine. Let's draw it nicely again. A and B and C. Now it is going to be connected with an OR gate. And this OR gate is getting another signal coming from B XOR C. Oh, B XOR C. So we are going to get one signal coming from B, a dot with a dot here to indicate that it's going to be a same repeated. Then we have B. Then we have one signal coming from C, and we are drawing a XOR gate here, and the signal from here will be going to the OR gate, and this will be a 4-mark question. This is how you will be able to score 4 out of 4. Complete the truth table for the logic expression. S equals to A and B and C, or B XOR C. So here it is done for you. A and B and C. So you can see here the three inputs are 0, so definitely it will be a 0. So A and B and C will give you a 1 only when all the three inputs are 1. As you can see here, in all other situations, the result is a 0. So this is the answer for A and B and C for the working space. And then B or C, here you will look for the two values here, 0, 0, opposites. Opposites will give you a 1 and same signals will give you the value of 0. So 0, 0, same a 0, 0 or 1, opposite a 1, ones or C, ones or 0, again opposites are 1, ones or 1, same is a 0, 0, 0, a 0, 0, 1, opposites a 1, 1, 0, opposites a 1, and 1, 1, same is a 0. So this is your answer for B or C. In the end, we have to apply the OR operation. So we can see here 0 or 0 is a 0, 0 or 1 is a 1, 0 or 1 is a 1, 0 or 0 is a 0, 0 or 0 is a 0, 0 or 1 is a 1, and then we have 0 or 1 is a 1, and 1 or 0 is a 1. In this manner, you will be able to score 2 out of 2 if you have made the truth table properly. Now the next question. The table shows part of the instruction set for a processor. The processor has one general purpose register accumulator and index register IX. Now there are few commands that as you can see here, and the commands are LDM #n immediate addressing, and it is there to load the number n to ACC. Then we have LDD address, which is direct addressing, STO for storing the contents of ACC at the given address. Then we have ADD to add the contents of the given address to ACC, INC for increasing or adding one to the contents of the register, which is going to be ACC or IX. Then we have DEC to subtract 1 from the contents of the register, which is ACC or IX. Then we have CMP for comparing the contents of ACC with the contents of the address. Then JPE, which is there for following a compare instruction. Then it will be jump to address if the comparison was successful or true. JPN, following the compare instruction, jump to address if the comparison was false. And JMP is simply jump to the given address. IN is to key in a character or store its ASCII value in ACC. Key in a character and store its ASCII value. Out is going to output the contents of the value stored in ACC onto the screen, and definitely it's a ASCII value, like the character associated with the ASCII value, and end is going to return the control to the operating system. And remember one thing, hash is denoting a denary number. For example, hash 1 to 3 means it is going to be the denary number 1 to 3. Now, the current contents of the main memory and selected values from the ASCII character set are. Now, these are our instructions. As you can see, address 70, 71, these are your addresses, and instructions are given here. And then these are the instructions that we have to apply and complete our trace table. So complete the trace table for the program currently in main memory when the following characters are input and they are AD. Do not trace the program any further when the third input is required. Now be clear, when third input is required, then we have to stop or we have to end our program. Now let's do it in this manner, that we are keeping the two questions together. So you can see here, the first one is your line number 70. And let's start from here. We are starting from here. And we are saying that first instruction is line number 70, in. In means input taken. So what will we do? We can see that what we did is line number 70 is here. I'll write line number 70, and then it says what? It says that we have to take the input. That was my 70 line number 70, or address 70 has the instruction to input. And input means whatever is input. And you can see the input was A. And then we look for the ASCII value here, and A means it will be 65. So the value 65 will be stored in your ACC. So that will be coming here. The value 65 will be stored in ACC. Okay. Then moving to the next one, the next instruction is 71, and that says CMP 100. And what is CMP doing? See, the purpose of CMP is, as you can see, compare the contents of ACC with the contents of address. Whatever is present in ACC, its contents or its whatever is written there will be compared with the value that you can see here is, that is CMP 100. CMP 100 means compare the contents of ACC with the contents of 100. So ACC holds 65 and 100 holds 68. So we'll simply do this. Nothing is going to happen as such. And then we can see that 71, after that it will be, the next instruction will be 72. And that will be, what is it? 72 is JPE 80, and JPE was, if the comparison was true, then only it will be moving to 80. And since the comparison isn't true, as you can see here, 65 and 68 are not equal. That's why it will simply move to the next address, and that is 73. And here we can see 73 says what? CMP 101. And what is CMP doing? CMP means again a comparison with the contents of 101. And you can see here 101 is now 73. After that 73, it's going to be 73 CMP 101 will be comparison is going to be successful. As you can see, the contents of 101 are 65 and the contents of ACC are also 65. So in this manner, after 73, it will be moving to address 74, and that is JPE 76. Means JPE means that go to this you can say this address if the instruction is true. So that is what it will do here, and it will be, I simply write 74 here. Let me repeat. 70, the contents are loaded in ACC, the input is taken and the contents of input are loaded into ACC. Then 71, 72, 73, the instructions are followed one after the other, and address 74 was containing JPE 76. So JPE 76 means that go to line number 76, and that is what you can see here, that 76 is holding LDT 102. So after that, there is no 75 and we are moving to 76. That's all. Till this point, I hope that's very clear. 76 is going to be the main thing, and that says LDD 102. And now, what is LDD? So you can see here, LDD, it will be address, direct addressing, load the contents of the location at the given address to ACC. So what will happen then? What is present? Load the contents of the location at the given address to ACC. So LDD 102. So, and what is present at 102? And you can see here 102 is holding 100. So that is why this value 100 will be stored in your accumulator. So the thing that will happen here is LDD will result, the LDD state instruction will result in loading the contents of the value of 102, that is 100 here in your accumulator. Now after that, the next instruction is increase ACC. It means the value of ACC will be increased by 1. So 77 will be the value increased by 1 and it will become 101. And then the next instruction is now STO, increase ACC, and then STO 102. And STO means the contents of ACC will be stored at this location. So what are the contents of ACC? As you can see, the contents of ACC are 101, and these values will now be stored at location 102. So 102 will now hold the value of 101. Okay, the value, the address 77, then 78, and the value will be stored in the in the respective location. Now, 101 is going to be stored in your location number 102, as was mentioned. And then the next instruction is, now you can see, after that it says GMP 70. GMP 70 means that it will be moving STO and then GMP 70. 79 says GMP 70. So it will move back to, it will simply jump to instruction 70. So after that, 79 will be here, and that 79 means it will be moving to this one. So we are done with this whole phase. Till now, I hope that we are clear about this. And now it is going to be a repetition of the same process once again by line number 70, like address number 70. And okay, now let me give a gap so we can understand that what is supposed to be done here, and just to make it understandable. Although we are not supposed to do it there, just to make it understandable for you, you can understand that this is what is supposed to be done here. After that is 70 again, and now you can see it's going to be the next value. The next value is going to be input taken, and that is D, and this D means, let's refer back to our input taken D, and input taken D means it will be 68, and this 68 will be stored in your accumulator, as was the requirement earlier, repetition of the same process. Now the same will continue here, 71. You can see after this comparison of the contents of ACC with the contents of your location. And 71, the contents are going to be compared, and you can see here the contents of 100 will be compared with the contents of ACC, and they are now equal. 68 and 68 are now equal. So that is why it will be JPE 80. And JPE 80 means it will be moving to line number. Now, line number 72 will be executed, and address number 72. And address number 72 means it will be JPE 80. So 80 means it will now be moving to no other location, but after 72 it will be moving to 80 location, 80 address, and that will be your LDD 102. And LDD 102 means that we have to look for the command, and the command says, LDD says what? Direct addressing. Load the contents of the location at the given address to ACC. Load the contents of the given location to ACC. So what will happen then? It will be now loading the contents of 102 into ACC. And 102 is holding 100. So with this, the value 101 will be stored here. Okay. The contents of the, you can see here, LDD 102 and LDD 102 means that whatever is present at 102 location, as you can see, 102 is now holding 101. So that is why 80 will be 101. And then the next instruction is 81, decrease ACC. So value of ACC will be decreased by 1, and it will now become 100. DEC means decrease by 1, and INC means increase by 1. So in this manner, the value will be decreased by 1 and it will become 100. And then the next instruction says STO 102 means the value that is present in ACC will be stored in location number this one, and it will be 82 is now STO 102. So 82 will be your STO 102. So the contents of accumulator, which are 100, will be stored in this location. And after that, it's going to be, after that, it's 83 that says GMP 70, and it will be jumping to line number 70, and it will not do anything at all because it said that take input of only two values, and that is why we are done with this. And if you have done everything properly in this table, in this trace table, then these marks are going to be yours. It's a very simple question. Just need you have to be cautious, and you will be able to score the marks. Now the next one is your bit manipulation. As you can see here, and hash in, which is the bitwise operator, as you can see here, and then and address, bitwise and operation, the contents of ACC, the contents of the address, XOR hash in or XOR address, or hash in or XOR or address. The contents of the memory now, again, address can be an absolute address or a symbolic address. Hash denotes a denary number, for example, hash 123. Now the question, the contents of the memory address 300 are shown. Bit numbers starting from the right hand side are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the value at address 300 is mentioned here, 0110, 0110. The contents of memory address 300 represent an unsigned binary integer. Write the denary value of the unsigned binary integer in the memory address. So we can see here, we have simply added the values here, just 64 plus 32 plus 4 plus 2, and that give me the answer of 102. And since it is a binary integer, that's why the value is unsigned binary integer. That's why the answer is a positive value. Now moving to the next part. The next part is an assembly language program needs to test if bit number 2 in memory address 300 is a 1 and complete the assembly language instruction to perform this test. So my concern is what? My concern is, you can see here, if bit number 2, this is my concern, this is my objective. If bit number 2 uh, is a 1 or not. So this is my concern. So here we can see that hash 4 was already written for me, and I need to know that which is going to be the best command to be used here, and it will be an AND. Since my concern is only this bit, which is basically containing the value 4. So you can see here, it's going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 in this manner. Okay, now let me write it so we can remember. It's basically 1, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, 32, 64, 128. And since it is an unsigned binary integer, so this is already written for me. Hash 4 was already written for me, and I have to know that which is going to be the best thing to be used here, and that is going to be your and this will give you again 1 out of 1. Because here it was only the need to mention the right assembly language instruction. Assembly language program needs to set bit 4, 5, 6, and 7 to 0, but keep bits 0 to 3 with their existing value. So this is my major concern. I want to keep the bits 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3 to be the same as they are. Like whatever they are, they have to be the same. And the bits which are here, like 5, 6, 7, as 4, 5, 6, 7 should be considered, should be taken to a 0. They're asking me to write the assembly language instruction to perform this action. So if I say and hash 15, so you can see here, and means multiply. So if I say 15, it means, now let me show you. 15 means it will be 1, 1, 1, and 1. And then the rest of the bits are going to be a 0 here. So if you're performing an AND operation, so you can see here, the values are going to be as per requirement. They said that retain the values here as they are and keep these bits as 0. So this was the requirement. So this is a bit understanding is needed here. And is the right operation, and hash 15 because they said that keep bits 0 to 3 with the existing values. Whatever the existing values are, they should be retained, and the best thing to do is perform AND operation with the value of 15, and that will be as per your requirement. And you can see here it's a 2-mark question because 1 mark is for writing the right assembly language instruction, and 1 mark is for writing the proper opcode and operand. Question number 5. SATE uses a computer for work. Complete for the following description of internal components of a computer by writing the missing terms. Now you can see here the and then blank transmits the signal to coordinate events based on the electric pulses of the and the blank. The blank carries data to the components, while the dash carries the addresses where data needs to be written to or read from. Now, they want you to fill in the blanks. The dash performs mathematical operations and logical comparisons. So the answer is going to be the control unit or the control bus transmits the signals to coordinate events based on the pulses of the system clock. The data bus carries data, and this is very simple. Carries data means it is always the data bus, while the data bus carries the components, while the address bus carries the address where the data is being written to or read from. Arithmetic logic unit or ALU performs mathematical operations and logical comparisons. So this is how, if you have answered the with the values properly, you will be able to score 5 out of 5. Now moving to the next one, part B, describe the ways in which the following factors can affect the performance of his laptop computer. Now number of cores. So how will the number of cores affect his computer performance and the clock speed? It's a 4 mark question, means that you have to write four valid points, two for each, and you can see what is a core doing. So each core is there to process one instruction per clock pulse, and more cores means that there will be a sequence of more instructions that can be processed or can because the instructions will be now split between the different cores, and so more than one instruction can be executed per clock pulse, or it will be able to perform more instructions will be able to process more instructions, and more cores decrease the time taken to complete the task. Like the way you can assume in such a manner that we have more hands, so if you have more hands, then definitely the time taken will be reduced. As far as clock speed is concerned, what is the effect? Each instruction is executed on a clock pulse, or you can say one FE cycle is run on each clock pulse. So the clock speed dictates the number of instructions that can be run per second. The faster the clock speed, the more instructions can be processed per second. Part C. SATE accesses both software and data using cloud computing, and give two benefits of storing data using cloud computing. So what are the benefits? Cloud storage can be free for small quantities. There's no need for separate high storage devices, like there's no need to carry the storage with you for storing the data. Can access the data from any computer with internet access. Most cloud storage providers have built-in backup or disaster recovery. Security could be better, can easily increase the capacity. It is allowed. Data can be easily shared if the data is stored on cloud. Give two drawbacks of SATE using cloud computing. So what are the drawbacks? Can only access the cloud with internet access, and definitely a good internet access is needed. Security may not be strong to control because there still be a chance that data will be accessed by someone without your knowledge. There may not be any backups. It can take a long time to upload or download the data. It can be more expensive in the long run. There could be a limit to the amount of storage unless you have to pay. And as you know, that there's a pay fee associated that you have to pay in order to use increased storage capacity. Similarly, there could be compatibility to your access issues. If you're accessing the data on cloud, there could be issues with the company which is offering the cloud services. So in this manner, any 2 points will give you 2 out of 2. Now, the next one, the part D. Draw one line from each term. Now, let me draw one line from each term to its most appropriate description. So we can see here there are 4 terms, and there are 4 terms: public IP address, private IP address, dynamic IP address, and static IP address. And on the right hand side, you can see they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms for fixed 6 definitions. So out of this, which one is the right definition for public IP address? So it is only visible to the devices with the local area network. It increments by one each time the device connects to the internet. A new one is reallocated each time a device connects to the internet. It can only be allocated to a router. It is visible to any device on the internet. It does not change each time a device connects to the internet. So out of these six terminologies, which one is the best one for public IP? So public IP, as you can see here, is it's visible to any device on the internet, as we can see here. That is why it is called public IP. Now, as far as private IP is concerned, it is only visible to the people or to the devices in a LAN environment or in local area network. So in this manner, this is the right answer. Then for dynamic IP, as you know, uh, a new one is allocated each time a device is connected to the internet. And that's why it is a dynamic IP. And static IP is a fixed IP. And that is why it does not change each time a device connects to the internet. So in this manner, out of these six descriptions, four are correct and these two are not linked with any of the given terminology. Now moving to the next question. Question number 6. A computer uses the ASCII character set. State the number of characters that can be represented by the ASCII character set and the extended ASCII character set. So ASCII can store or can show you total of 128 characters, as you can see here, or a child can write 2 to the power 7. That will be considered as a correct answer, while extended ASCII can help you with 256 characters total, or you can say 202 to the power 8. Part B. Explain how a word such as house is represented by the ASCII character set. So this is what you already know, that every single letter or every single character on the keyboard has its own ASCII character value. So each character has its own unique code. Each character in the word is replaced by its code, and the codes are stored in the order in the word. So although they are different characters, every character's ASCII value will be found and it will be stored in the same order. Part C. Unicode is a different character set. The Unicode value of the character 1 is denary value 49. Write the hexadecimal value for the Unicode character 41. It means that you have to find the hexadecimal value of the denary value 49. So what you can do, you can simply do it in two different ways, and you can either convert the denary number to its equivalent hex value by converting it into its equivalent binary value and then finding its value also. I'm doing it the other way around. 16, the table of 16. 16 times 3 is 48 and remainder is 1. So in this manner, my answer will be 3, 1, as you can see here. Or a child can find the uh, binary value for 49 and then he can convert that binary to its equivalent hex value. The answer will remain the same. Write the denary value for the Unicode character 5. You know 1 means 49, so 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. In this manner, the character 5, which is the Unicode character, has its equivalent denary value as 53. Question number 7. Jennifer is writing a computer program for her A-level homework. Jennifer uses a program library to help her write her complete program. Describe how a program library can be used while writing a computer program. So what is the purpose? The program libraries are storing pre-written functions and routines. The program library can be referenced or imported as required. The functions or routines are present and they can be called in her own program. So this is what the purpose of a program library is whenever we are writing a computer program. Part B. Jennifer uses an IDE, Integrated Development Environment, to write her computer program. IDE allows Jennifer to use both an interpreter and a compiler while creating her computer program. Describe the ways in which Jennifer can use both a compiler and an interpreter while developing the program. So it's a 4-mark question. It means that they want you to write 2 valid points for each of the two translators. So when do we use an interpreter? So when we are writing a program, the best choice is an interpreter because here it will help me in testing and finding out errors in my program. So while you are developing a program, since you are in the development phase, that's why interpreter is the best choice. And here the advantage is you can correct the errors as they appear, and you can correct them and you can proceed further for to the other part of the program also. And here the execution stops whenever a program has found an error. But once you are done with the entire program testing, what we do, then we compile our program so that we can give the file executed execution to the end user, because we do not want to share the source code with the user. And that is why a compiler will be used to convert or to create an executable file. And then this compiler can be used repeatedly to test the same program also without having to reinterpret every time. Remember, interpreter always needs interpretation or translation to be done, while if you have compiled the program properly, after removing all the errors, then you can rerun the program, you can retest the program with different input data, and this is how you will be able to figure out that whether your program is error-free or not. Identify two debugging tools that a typical IDE can provide. So a typical IDE can provide you breakpoints or single stepping or report windows. So all three are mentioned here for your benefit, so you will remember that this is how you will score your marks. Question number 8. A company has several security measures in place to prevent unauthorized access to the data on its computers. Describe the difference between the security and privacy of data. Security means protecting the data against loss, while privacy means protecting the data against unauthorized access. So security is against data loss, while privacy is against unauthorized access. Now it's a 2 mark question. Part B. Each employee has a username and password to allow them to log on to a computer. The employee's access rights to the data on the computer is set to either read only or read and write. Identify one other software-based measure that could be used to restrict the access to the data on the computers. So one is mentioned, the user ID and the password. So a child can mention two-factor authentication, biometric passwords, keycard access, or firewall, and they will be considered as the correct answers. The company is also concerned about threats posed by networks and the internet. Identify two threats to the data that are posed by networks and the internet. Threat 1, threat 2. So a child can write malware, viruses, or spyware, or the child can write the threat 2 as hacking or phishing or farming, and it will be considered as a right answer because malware includes viruses, worms, spyware, etc., Trojan horses. So these are considered as the correct answers. Jazakallah khair Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have understood each and everything that is being delivered in this paper. Stay tuned, like and subscribe the channel and share with your friends and family so they all are going to benefit from it. And inshallah, we are going to come with another video very soon. Allah Hafiz, take very good care of yourselves and the loved ones. May Allah bless you.